right, guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Film Room. Finally, this is our first podcast ever since I came back from CinemaCon in Vegas. Another year of great, surprising, unexpected, and expected announcements. I'm here with William. William, what's up, my boy?
How's it going, guys? Good to be here.
Good to have you here because if it wasn't for you, this episode would not happen today at all. So, thank you for joining.
No
So,
problem.
let me tell you, CinemaCon this year, they brought in so many incredible announcements, whether it's from, you name it, Sony, Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, Focus Features, Disney, Paramount, even Amazon MGM Studios, the newest studio to join this year. So let's go. This will be part one. By the way, part two will be sometime next week, if possible. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the Sony presentation. They delivered the goods. They delivered so many amazing announcements that I actually expected and did not expect myself as well. Let's start off with we got two small scenes from the new movie Karate Kid Legends that comes out this summer. And just in total, to summarize real quick, Sony gave us Resident Evil, directed by Zach Kreger, Clara and the Sun, directed by Taika Waititi and Jenna Ortega. We have Jumanji 3, The Legend of Zelda. Spider-Man 4 is now called Brand New Day officially, directed by Daniel Destin Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi, so the choreography is going to be off the charts, for sure. And the biggest announcement was the Beatles. They are getting a 4-film cinematic event, as told by Sam Mendes, the director. Paul McCartney is played by Paul Mescal. We have John Lennon, played by Harris Dickinson, Ringo Starr as Barry Keegan as Ringo Starr, and we have Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. And this is the best part. All 4 movies will be all released in the same month of April 2028.
Wow.
The director said that he wants to make this like a binge-worthy cinematic event where all 4 films to come out in one day or one film every weekend. That's something new that I think and hope we can begin a whole new trend for the future of movies. So we have Karate Kid Legends. We have 28 years later, followed by the new sequel called The Bone Temple to be released in January next year. We have, like I just said, The Bone Temple right there. We got Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse footage and a release date for June 4th, 2027. Caught Stealing, which is a really weird crime drama film starring Austin Butler, Matt Smith, Regina King, Zoe Kravitz, and so on. Bad Bunny, even.
That's an unexpected actor.
Definitely. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which looks really good with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. Looks actually, I saw the trailer for it. I got a little teared up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Goat, that's produced by Stephen Curry and the people who made the Spider-Verse films. That's basically like a goat played by an actual animated goat, where it's a pure underdog story. That's we didn't get much story from this. Just Curry gave us a video footage of him
Mm.
talking to us about his movie. Comes out in 2026. One
Is
day,
that gonna be my bad? Is that gonna be like the movie about the guy, the singer that was standing, but it was like actually like a monkey guy? I forgot the name of it. Do you
there's
know which one I'm talking about?
definitely with goat.
Yeah, is it gonna be like that, or is
Oh,
it just like a kids movie?
it's just a pure kids. Remember,
Ah,
this is produced by Steph Curry and the people who made the Spider-Verse movies. So it's definitely gonna be a kids movie. It's just the story is gonna be literally like an underdog story. How it's basically gonna be how Steph Curry's story went. How he went from being slept on, he worked his way to being one of the top players in the NBA. It's that
oh, okay.
kind of story. We had the sequel to I Know What He Did Last Summer with um no, sorry, the release date July 18th next year already. We have the same. We have 2 returning characters from the first film doing either cameos or coming back for the sequel, which is pretty cool. Although the main cast is different. So yeah, I mean, Sony brought the goods. Some movies I'm really looking forward to watching. Some movies I personally don't really care about. Like we saw a new trailer for 28 Years Later, which it's obviously, if you know what it's about, it's like a post-apocalyptic story that starring Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ralph Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, Alfie Williams, and Cillian Murphy is actually in this movie, and he looks hella skinny. I thought it was CGI. Okay. I just named, if you can remember, which movie to you are you looking forward to the most from?
For me,
I'll scroll.
for me, it's got to be the Spider Verse. Beyond,
Mm-hmm.
the new Spider Verse that they're doing 2027. I can't, but I'm happy with the delays. I'm willing to wait as long as it takes. But aside from that, it's crazy. I had no idea that they were bringing back stuff like Starship Troopers and
Mm-hmm.
the new Jumanji and Karate Kid, and not just that, the Resident Evil. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, out of all the upcoming movies that are coming out, I want to say I'm most excited for Sony because those are the names that I recognize the most, and I'm just curious to see where they're going to take some of these franchises to.
Yeah, for sure. And when they first announced Brand New Day for Spider-Man, I was just grateful that they had no, the word home in it, like the trilogy did. It's something new, and I really can't wait to see how this story plays out because Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he had like help, a lot of help in those other trilogies. This is the first movie I think where it looks like the way it ended, he's gonna be like mostly alone in as
Mm,
pure Spider-Man. I hope, and and I want to see how he manages, you know unfortunately, it's not like a street level movie anymore. But I just hope that this is gonna be better than No Way Home. But that right now, I can see that it's gonna be hard to beat No Way Home right now.
yeah, because No Way Home was awesome. I just hope they tie up all the string, they tie up the story essentially. Because they left us on a big cliffhanger, man. I really want to see what happens.
For real, I mean, I do have to admit though, at this whole list, there is one sleeper film. I do believe that the sleeper film from Sony could be. Trying to find it here. It's definitely not Karate Kids Legends because that's probably one of the most hyped up movies of the year. Not really caught stealing. I do have to admit that it has to be a big, bold, beautiful journey that comes out this year, September already. Oh, and I forgot to also announce. I think Sony has Anaconda with Paul Rudd and Jack Black in December this year.
That's the Snake movie.
Yes, this is the same.
Oh my!
I'm
See,
Yeah, that's Sony because Sony began their panel by giving us video footage of Paul Rudd and Jack Black introducing the head of CEO of Sony, whatever. They were on the set of filming Anaconda, and they announced that's coming out in December this year. Finally.
man, they want to put people in seats at the movie theater. Is what it sounds like. I feel like now more than ever, it's important to support the movies. You know what I mean? Because like
Hmm.
they're really pulling out everything.
Yeah, I mean, every time I'm at the movies, the one ad I'm actually looking forward to is the one by I really forget her name, but it's the woman walking into the room where the lights begin to dim and the magic on screen turns on. That advertisement. I'm sure the viewers know what I'm talking about. The advertisement really gets you in the mood before watching any movie in theaters, especially in Dolby Cinema.
I
But
think I know which one you're talking about. Where it's like an advertisement for the movie theater itself.
yeah, for the
Uh,
for the room, the lights begin to dim,
mhm.
the projector turns on, and then the last line is because here they are, like as far as movies being magic. I'm always saying the line with her because that gives me the chills every time. But yeah, I mean, to me, a sleeper film is a big bold beautiful journey. It comes out this year September, and it's again Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell, Jodie
What
Turner Smith, Billy Waller-Bridge. So this is pretty much a stats cast, and it's funny because the trailer showed Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie listening to the navigation system, and Colin Farrell, his Siri in the GPS leads him to Margot Robbie's character. I just activated Siri on my phone. No, but Colin Farrell follows his Alexa whatever to lead to Margot Robbie, and then Siri leads both of them into their own big, bold, beautiful journey that leads them through different doors, gateways to their childhood. It really is a beautiful journey that they go through, and I cannot wait for the world to watch the trailer because this is, once again, I'm going to say, as a sleeper with those two actors in this movie.
And I
But
feel like we don't see Colin Farrell all the time, and this seems like a comedy almost. So I feel
it's
like it's
well, I guess the way I'm explaining it is a comedy. It's more like I would say like a half comedy, half mostly drama, half like not soothing, but like a family movie that definitely has no jump scares, not like a humorous movie like Adam Sandler. It's like an actual, for once, movie that you can actually enjoy without expecting to cry, laugh. It's just very normal film, if that makes sense.
that's one way of putting it.
But uh, but yeah, I mean, we saw the little trailer to I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's definitely a horror film. I didn't know about that. And yeah, Goat is my next movie I'm looking forward to next year, one day before Valentine's Day.
If anything, I'm more surprised that more athletes don't make movies. You know what I mean? Because their
I'm
stories
not.
are always so interesting.
I
You
mean,
know.
I guess. I mean, yeah, LeBron who made Space Jam, which I think was pretty mid, with what's his name? Oh my God, the man who plays War Machine in
Oh
Don
yeah.
Don Cheadle.
hmm No,
That's
no. But I want to see more movies about like the athletes. You know.
like documentaries.
Yeah, yeah. Not necessarily a documentary. It could be like a dramatization. You know,
Mm-hmm.
their life. I mean, hell, even The Rock did a movie on his life. Apparently, I've
Right.
been meaning to watch it. So.
Right, and he has a film coming out too, where he plays either his father or some huge different wrestler, where the makeup is incredible.
It's gotta be a crazy idea. Imagine having to play your own dad in a movie. That's crazy.
The amount of pressure you got, but are you looking forward to the Karate Kid Legends movie, Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan, and Ben Wong? Comes out in May this year.
Well, we'll see. You know, because hey, what else are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Because I rewatched the remake of the Karate Kid, and it's like, what the Karate Kid has a multiverse now? Like, what's this new movie gonna
I
be
don't know.
about? I don't know.
At first I did think that, but then I realized Ralph Macchio called Jackie Chan's character his name from the original one, so I just realized that we're getting the first Karate Kid, the second Karate Kid, we're getting Jackie Chan's character in this movie, which I just realized. I don't know. I mean, that brought back so much nostalgia, and that just made me think: what if we see Jaden Smith, his character in this movie, if Jackie Chan's in it from the other one too? I mean, it'd be really cool to have Jaden Smith in this movie as like a cameo or something.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not in it, but
Well, that's definitely. I mean, for a character like him, like so loved, I don't expect him to be in the trailer, but he might be a surprise cameo. But obviously, I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, Sony um finished off the panel with Spider-Man Brand New Day announcement and announcing the Beatles where you had Paul Mescal, Harris Dickinson, Barry Keegan, and Joseph Quinn. They all came on stage to talk about the characters, and with the director announcing the fourth film cinematic event, and all I also have to no that's that never mind, that's Lionsgate, but that's a topic for a different day. But yeah, I mean, the Beatles is definitely something I'm looking forward to. Same as another pop star, MJ. That's a different panel. But the Beatles, Karate Kid Legends. You have 28 years later that comes out this summer. the sequel, The Bone Temple, for January 16th. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, we finally got June 4th, 2 years from now. We got Caught Stealing, which is it's a thriller, like a comedy thriller with Austin Butler, as I mentioned, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith from Morbius, the greatest Marvel film of all time,
Exactly. All hail Morbius.
Bad Bunny, and Kingpin's Vincent D'Onofrio in this movie called Stealing, August 29th this year. Like I said, A Sleeper, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey for September of this year, Goat, and I Know What He Did Last Summer. It comes out this year in July. Um, any film that you're looking forward to personally for this year from Sony?
Well, something that's out of that Beatles movie. I need to
Mm,
know what they're gonna do with it. Either we're gonna
I mean,
sit in the movie theater for 8 hour shift.
I can tell you because the director spoke about it. All I heard him say was, again, when he announced what month the films were coming out, the audience was in shock. Because they're trying to figure out how he would do this, because it says here will be released in April. It only shows 1 month, so he did mention one movie for each character of the Beatles, and it's just crazy because he plans to release one film either one day after the next, or one weekend after the next, or all in the same day of the same month, because he does want to make this a binge worthy event, which is something that has never happened before. And so he wants to try something new. And if it works, who knows what other bands or
So
franchises
now
do this.
I'm even more interested because each you said each movie is for the individual. That's okay. That's
Yep.
really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a nice surprise. That's what finished off the panel. The Beatles ended off the panel because each panel wants to end them with a big bang before leaving off for the day. So as the first panel of the whole convention, Sony wanted to finish off strong, and they definitely did with the Beatles. That's for sure. But yeah, that's Sony. Um, like I said, my sleeper is A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, and my most anticipated film is between Spider-Man Brand New Day and Karate Kid's Legends that comes out this summer. But yeah, that was Sony. Sony, I think, came out pretty strong, although some people did think that they were pretty weak. But the strongest panel, I believe, was maybe Paramount or Disney. That's for part two. But what do you say we go on to Lionsgate?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead. Let me share the screen. Now, for Lionsgate, that was, to me, a step further because Lionsgate, we got a whole new extended look at Ballerina. We got we got four new films announced for the world of John Wick. We have Ballerina, comes out in June. We have the animated John Wick movie that focuses on Keanu Reeves completing the impossible task, where
Oh.
where I believe it's the unaliving of all of his rivals in one night to free himself from the high table and to be with the love of his life, Helen. So that's the animation movie. We have John Wick 5 officially in the works, which confuses me after how 4 ended. And we have the spin-off, Kane, played by David Yen. He's getting his own spin-off movie where he's reprising his role as Kane. Filming begins, I believe, the ending of this year. He's directing it and producing it. And this takes place, I believe, in Hong Kong. So he was a fan favorite from John Wick 4. So I really cannot wait to see a movie that's, starring him and not Keanu Reeves. But we got a movie starring The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Hurry Up Tomorrow. We got the fourth film for Now You See Me 4. But here's the cool part. Now You See Me 4 is called Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which is pretty smart.
Oh.
Yeah. We Hurry Up Tomorrow, Now You See Me 4. We have The Stranger Chapter 2 in September
Ooh.
26th. Ballerina, like I mentioned, June 6th. We have John Wick 5, like I said, animated John Wick 5 movie, animated John Wick movie, the Kane movie. We have Now You See Me, Now You Don't. We have the Michael Jackson film, where I'm not sure if it's delayed or not because we got no footage or no announcement from Michael Jackson at CinemaCon, but it's confirmed so far for October 3rd. And last year, we saw the trailer for the teaser for Michael Jackson. Boy, I was dancing in my chair. Okay, this looks amazing. The next film for Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, that comes out November 20th next year. We got The Long Walk, which is more like I'm not gonna say horror, but I'm gonna say it's more like a thriller because it's literally the movie is literally about a long walk where we have kids who are either in the army or training for something, and it's a big group of them, as you can see in the main cast, starring David Johnson from Alien, and he starring David Johnson and Ben Wong from Karate Kid, and the main whole point of this movie is walk, and the horror part is if you walk slower than 3 miles an hour, you die. You have to keep walking, and it's starring Mark Hamill, who's the guy in charge of the whole walking. So he's like the villain in the movie. If he notices, everyone has to wear a watch that tracks your speed limit. And if you go lower than 3 miles an hour, you get shot, you die. If you get hurt, rolled ankle, a pain, cramping anywhere. If you slow down, it doesn't matter what happens to you. If you go slower than 3 miles an hour, you get shot and you die, and you unalive. So this is technically a horror film, horror thriller film, and basically the only way it ends is by the last person standing, no matter how long it takes. That's why it's called the long walk. You can't slow down. You only speed up, or you go the same speed until there's no one left standing. So that's a horror thriller that I'm looking forward to watching September 12th.
Hopefully they develop it a little bit because I watched The Monkey recently and I was a little disappointed, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah.
We got Good Fortune, which is a comedy movie starring Aziz Ansari, Keanu Reeves, and Seth Rogen, mostly about Aziz, whose life is basically trash, and Seth Rogen, whose life is basically a celebrity, and he finds Keanu Reeves, who plays an angel who comes out of nowhere, and Aziz basically wishes for his life and Seth Rogen's life to be flipped upside down. So Aziz starts to live life the way Seth Rogen's was, and Seth Rogen's character lives the life of how Aziz was. So their lives gets flipped upside down for both of them, and let's just say there's possibly a big plot twist or a big turn of events with Keanu Reeves' character. That's all in the trailer. So that's a movie that I'm really looking forward to watching because mostly because of Keanu Reeves. So he looks hilarious in this movie. But Seth Rogen's character, he plays similar to what his character is in the show The Studio on Apple TV Plus. That show is really good. It's really funny, and Seth Rogen plays himself in that show, which I highly recommend to watch. It's called The Studio. But yes, that's Good Fortune, which I'm surprised has no release date on here. I forget when it comes out, but it comes out this year, next year for sure. You have Power Ballad that's featuring Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas. They both sing in this movie, and they're both pretty good. And that's pretty much it. So Landscape also came out with some movies I'm looking forward to watching. Horror movies wise, The Strangers Chapter 2, not a horror fan, not seeing it. But let me ask you, of all the movies I just announced here, which one are you looking forward to watching the most from Lionsgate? And if you want me to go through the list again, I will.
Well, I got the list up, but is American Psycho coming back? Because I think I
Yes,
see it right near it. Okay.
yes. A
So,
new one's coming out.
yeah, I was going to say John Wick, but as much as I like John Wick, I need to see what they're going to do with the American Psycho. I don't know, man. That movie didn't need a sequel, but we'll see what it's about. It'd be cool if they get it right, though. They have the opportunity. Instead of the 1980s financial nonsense, they switch it with like the cryptocurrency
Mm.
bros, you know, doing crazy stuff in the islands or something. Who knows? Yeah, they have the
You know,
opportunity.
to me,
But
the biggest question is for a different movie. I really wonder how they're gonna execute John Wick
oh,
Chapter 5. After
mm-hmm.
4 ended, I guess there's no way to, unalive John Wick. Maybe he gets resurrected, but I have no idea what 5 came about, which is
But
the rest.
wait, am I crazy? Because I could have sworn in the last John Wick movie there was like a after credit scenes where he kind of like just walks it off.
I mean, all I remember is in John Wick 4, the end credits or post credits scene. I remember seeing David Yen, his Kane character, telling us clearly a spin off for the future. But I don't remember anything about Keanu Reeves walking anything off. But
I gotta
all,
check it out again. Yeah.
yeah, me too. But all I remember seeing is Kane, that character, basically giving us a hint of a spin off movie, which is happening this year, filming. But the animated movie, I'm looking forward to also John Wick. Like I said, Kane. This one is really interesting. Now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
This one focuses on obviously of the whole main cast coming back, but they come back in their own fashion in this movie. And this one, it's mostly focusing on new characters. Like Irina Greenblatt is in it, Dominic Sessa, Justice Smith, and Rosamund Pike. This movie focuses on those new magicians now, like now the young guns, and they're joined by the OG cast, and they get to work together to complete one huge magical heist, basically.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why, but Woody Harrelson seems like a comedian in this movie. That's all I'll say.
I mean, he has range, man. You know.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to me, I love this guy as an actor. I love him so
Mm-hmm.
much. But one second, let me mute myself because the guy sneezed maybe, but we'll see. But again, now you see me, now you don't. November 14th this year, one of my most highly anticipated films for Lionsgate, aside from Ballerina, which Anna Diarmas looks like a complete badass in because if you told me we would see a Anna Diarmas and Keanu Reeves head to head, I would not believe you at all. It's in the trailer, it shows that.
Here's hoping it's good.
But what do you think about the next Hunger Games? Some Sunrise on the Reaping.
I'm surprised they're bringing it back because, like, who talks about the Hunger Games nowadays? You know. But I mean, I'll check it out. Hopefully, it's good. You
I
know,
mean,
hopefully they remake the magic of the first few movies. But
because what the director did say about this was that he called it a return to form, like I'm reading from here, that goes back to what made the franchise so popular with the style of the games themselves. And it's gonna be so I'm assuming it's gonna be more modern-ish. The main cast is still TBA. All we know is what the logo looks like, and that's coming out next year, November. But hey, all the Hunger Games so far films have been pretty good. All I know is that they're recasting the characters, like Hamish Abernathy. They're recasting another one. They were casting, I believe, the man who played President Snow. So this one's gonna be featuring whole new characters to play the OG cast. So I really hope they don't mess it up. But the person who's in talks to play Haymitch and the person in talks to play, I'm sorry, not President Snow, the villain, the other blondie. I forgot his name, but
it's
there's
like
two
the eccentric. I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't
the
know. Remember their weird names.
the two people in talks to play those characters look identical. So the casting, I'm sure it's going to be just fine. I hope the movie is going to be really good
Mm-hmm.
because the previous one was very long, but thank God it was pretty good too. But again, the main cast is so far TBA officially November 20th. But
They can bring whoever they want to bring to that movie. I just hope they get it right because I feel like the concept. Maybe that's why people don't talk about it as much anymore. It got played out. I remember when the Hunger Games came out, like a bunch of other movies came out that were kind of like it. So If they just give us the Hunger Games now in 2025 again, I don't think it's gonna be a hit. They need to switch it up. I want to see something
Yeah.
else.
I think they said either this year or next year. I don't remember. Wait, let me see. I think it was next year. Yes, next year, November.
Oh, okay, okay. But
Yeah,
still,
no. Yeah, I mean, with the cast still TBA, it can be this year already.
but it'd be nice to see some fresh blood. Some new actors. Just
I guess, but for some reason, um, a huge franchise like Hunger Games, you still want to see some of the OG cast to make
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
just to like have the nostalgia in the future films.
True. It's just
Um,
I feel like you can do it right if you do it right. Like look at the best example I could think of right now is Fast and the Furious Tokyo
mhm.
Drift. That one didn't really have all the regular cast of characters we're used to. We had new people, but at the same time, they did it right. It was believable. It was enjoyable. So
Right.
I just want a good movie.
Me too, but a film that I want the audience to know about, like I mentioned before, is The Long Walk and Good Fortune. Because Good Fortune, like, here's a summary for it. The trailer begins off with Aziz as a down on his luck assistant to a tech bro, played by Seth Rogen. So I guess Aziz plays the assistant to Seth Rogen, and then an angel Gabriel, played by Keanu Reeves, he attempts to show Aziz that trading lives will not solve his problems, but it actually does, which is the funny part. So then Seth Rogen suffers by living his assistant's life, and the situation gets harder for Keanu Reeves to manage, and then becomes a challenge to get back to normal. But Good Fortune and The Long Walk are both films I'm looking forward to watching. And again, I'm not a horror fan, but The Long Walk is slowly turning me into a horror fan. And, I guess getting jump scared is one of the best parts about seeing a horror film because I'm not alone in getting jump scared. I see highlights from people in theaters getting jump scared, and seeing that makes me laugh. So why not join in on the fun? But yes, also last but not least, I want to mention Michael, played by Jafar Jackson, which I believe is the nephew of Michael Jackson, which is really cool. The makeup looks identical to MJ. Also with Coleman Domingo, Miles Teller, Trey Horton, Joseph David Jones. This movie is stacked, and let me tell you, the teaser made me dance. I can't imagine the trailer itself. And the film so far says October 3rd, so we might get some kind of like a new look at the movie maybe in the summer, but I think it might get delayed. That's my fear.
Yeah, if they're not releasing anything, movies like this, they're gonna try to get their money's worth. They're gonna tell everybody on the planet that they're making a Michael Jackson movie.
Right. I mean, it's just weird because last year we got a teaser. This year we got nothing.
It's just sometimes it's think about what's going on with the Into the Spider Verse movie. I'm not saying we got teasers, but we hear about it and then we just don't hear about it for a year, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, 2027. Like no.
I guess. All right. Before we, wait, let me ask you. So before we go off to, I believe, Warner Brothers, let me see. Yeah, Warner Brothers. Is there any movie that we talked about that you're looking forward to watching yourself?
American Psycho. Yeah.
The remake?
Yeah. 100%. I feel like either it's going to be really good or it's going to be a really funny moment in time.
Nice. For me, obviously, I'm a huge John Wick fan, so I'm gonna have to say
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ballerina and I Love Magic. So Ballerina and the fourth, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. For November 14th, Ballerina is June. So for the viewers or the listeners on Spotify, the movies for Lionsgate, once again, you have the remake for American Psycho, the fourth, Now You See Me. You have Hurry Up Tomorrow with The Weeknd and Jenna Ortega. You have over here, let's see, The Strangers Chapter 2 for this year in the fall. You have John Wick 5, the animated John Wick movie. You have Kane, the spinoff with Donnie Yen. You have, like I mentioned, Now You See Me. You have Michael Jackson, God willing, this year October, or also might get delayed. You have the next Hunger Games movie, Sunrise on the Reaping. The Long Walk, it's like a horror thriller movie. You have Good Fortune with Aziz Ansari, Seth Rogen, and Keanu Reeves, and Power Ballad with Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd, which is a duo I never thought was possible ever. And yes, that's it. So Lionsgate also with some nice surprises and amazing announcements this year.
All I'm saying is, what you said, Nick Jonas. All
Nick
right,
Jonas, yep.
he better not disappoint Paul Rudd. All right, all I'm saying is the real star is Paul Rudd. All right, he's talking to Ant Man. All right, he better know what he's talking about.
All right. What do you say we continue for Warner Brothers, which has an amazing list this
Let me
year?
pull up the list on my end.
Because Warner Brothers, let me tell you, like just like right now, I'm speechless because we have F1, which is the the racing game, the racing movie with Brad Pitt, Damson Idris. We have Javier Bardem from Dune 3. We have, let's see, One Battle After Another with DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, Sean Penn. We have Final Destination Bloodlines, which, let me tell you, I've not seen one film from this franchise, but now I have to because
Oh,
we saw a long clip for the movie, and it was so gory. I loved it.
dude, if you want to creep yourself out, check it out.
I
Oh, it's
definitely
gonna give
will.
you anxiety about everything. You're gonna look at like the wall and be like, "Oh, I'm in danger." you know, like, trust.
We got Weapons, which is a brand new horror film by Zach Kreger, I believe the one who made Barbarian 2. We got The Cat in the Hat, a new one with Bill Hader. This is
Bill Hader.
Yeah, The Cat in the Hat. This is gonna be it's marketed as animated, but it's live action. We got The Bride. We got Actually, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. We have
Wow,
also that's out Minecraft and Sinners. They mentioned Sinners, but barely. But yes. Oh, also the last for last, best for last. James Gunn's Superman.
yeah, I was about to ask about that one.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so the audience was given the first 10 minutes of the movie for F1, and all I have to say is that if you love Gran Turismo, you will love F1. The
Mm.
only difference is F1 is made for IMAX. Like the audios, the visuals. Brad Pitt, the fact that he drove an actual race car going 180 miles per hour is insane. He really did that. And directed by Joseph Kosinski, the same one who made Top Gun Maverick. So you know it's gonna be cinema. Let me say, One Battle After Another with DiCaprio. This one I didn't really understand much, but you gotta watch the trailer for it. It's out. This comes out this year, September. But yeah, let me ask you. Weapons is also a horror film where a classroom of children go missing one night, and it's hard to explain, but it's also, if it's directed by the man who made Barbarian, you know it's a horror film basically. But
I'm so confused. Children weapons.
no, so basically he hears the yeah, so it's basically the trailer begins with an eerie tone and shots of children going to school as the narration gives us the backstory of a day where all children in the classroom of one teacher, Julia Garner, have gone missing. Then basically, let me see what it says here. There is there's a bleak sense of dread that only gets worse when Julia sees one of the missing children. Only there's something deeply wrong with the children themselves. So the children look
Mhm.
possessed as they go somewhere missing for a night. And basically, it says here one shot shows someone vomiting blood, another features a mother attempting to harm themselves, and the most provocative of all is a wild look at a group of children crashing out of their school. The trailer closes on a teenager in the woods encountering an out of focus figure who waves creepily. So this movie is definitely a creepy, eerie horror thriller that I have to watch on my computer. on mute. But yeah, let me ask you: out of all these movies I gave you from Warner Brothers, which one are you looking forward to from Warner Brothers?
Well, Final Destination. Yeah, I was gonna say F1, but Final Destination. I've been waiting for that movie forever, and just to see another one be made is, yeah. It's funny. I'm complaining about the Hunger Games doing the same thing over and over again, but Final Destination is the exact same thing. I
Yeah,
guess it's
but
different.
it's a whole different movie, man. A whole different freaking movie.
Mm-hmm.
What one movie they're always finding weird random ways to unalive.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in other film they have to fight to survive.
But that, and I really want to see what they're gonna do with the next Superman movie too,
Mm. Yeah. Have
because
you seen the new sneak peek for that movie? They gave us like a 5 minute clip.
not yet. But I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with the universe, where they're gonna take it to, what the next few years are gonna look like. Because
I mean, just by the clip itself, the clip was mostly about the relationship between Superman and Crypto, and if you since you didn't hear what James Gunn said, there's no context as to why Crypto does what he does in that clip. But James Gunn basically said that Crypto is based off of his own dog, who his own dog named Ozu, where he treated James Gunn like trash. He was trashing his furniture, biting his feet, trashing just being possibly the worst dog you could ever adopt. And Crypto is actually based off of Ozu. So he based Crypto off of his personal family dog Ozu, which is why you will see what he does with Superman, why he is like this,
okay,
which is pretty funny. But the thing that I don't like that I didn't like to hear was from the test screening of Superman, people said that this movie has a great mix of humor and seriousness. But the thing that I loved about Henry Cavill's Superman was that movie was mostly seriousness and had very, very minimal parts of humor. And besides, Henry Cavill and directed by Zack Snyder, easy, easy hit. I loved both of those people, but knowing James Gunn, how he's a humorous director,
mm-hmm.
hearing his story of how during filming the scene he had a joke in his head, and he literally told Superman while filming a scene, he told him to say this as they're filming. And the hardest part is that David Cornsweet had to have a straight face while saying this line, this joke. Just a joke that James Gunn blurted out loud randomly to put in the scene. And the fact that it's the same director who made Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
an amazing trilogy that they're known for amazing action, CGI, and plenty of humor. To me, Superman is, like people say, a beacon of hope. He's one of the most iconic heroes of all time. I don't know how I feel about this being more humorous than Henry Cavill's Superman. And no matter how much I enjoy this one, Henry Cavill's is always my Superman.
But let them try it out. You saw them try it out with Batman. They took it from the Christopher Nolan version to the version where he was kind of like killing people. But what was the name of that actor that was dating uh, Ben
Who?
Affleck?
Like what? Jeff
They gave
Lopez?
us, yeah. They gave us the Affleck vision. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of the Ben Affleck Batman series of movies. So maybe they have to see how a funny Superman would fare out
Mm,
before you know.
you know, so moving on from so basically seeing the clip from Superman, um, hearing David Corenswet, Nicholas Holt, and Rachel Brosnahan, the Superman, Lex Luthor, and Lois Lane, they were on stage talking with James Gunn and Peter Safran. They're talking about the characters, their time on set. So I'm literally hoping it's a good movie based on what they were talking about, not the clip. And
True.
their words sounded very promising. So I really hope it's a good film, and I hope the hype is real.
Just take it with a grain of salt. You know, if you had your boss in front of you,
Always.
you're not gonna say, "Hey,
But
boss."
a little piece of this film does remind me of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, just
Really?
just casting wise. You have
Oh,
Superman, Lois Lane, Hawkgirl, Lex Luthor, Green Lantern. You have Skeller Gassando. You have Isabella Merced, who plays the Hawkgirl. You have Millie Alcock, who's our Supergirl in this film as well. And Captain America: Winter Soldier, you had a whole stacked cast that included obviously Bucky Barnes, Steve Rogers, Nick Fury, Black Widow, the Falcon. It was a stats cast there. It's a stats cast here. Only difference is Winter Soldier is one of the best films from Marvel of all time. This
mm-hmm.
one is still undetermined, and it's the first film under James Gunn's DCU. So there's no way I think that this movie can match the level of Winter Soldier. Yes, I'm serious, but I hope it's still gonna be in that. I hope after seeing it, they're both in the same tier, or I hope Superman, according to the hype, is better than Winter Soldier.
You know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt only because you've seen Peacemaker, that TV show.
Mm-hmm.
If he does that type of comedy, it'll with Superman. I think it really would be something worth checking out because I really
I
enjoyed the
hope
type
so,
of
man.
comedy that he did on Peacemaker.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, for Warner Brothers, besides the Cat and Hat, they're making a new Tom and Jerry movie, Tom and Jerry, and a new Looney Tunes movie.
And there's also a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, that wasn't on this list for some reason. I didn't see it, but yes, we got a whole sizzle reel for Warner Brothers this year and next year, and the sizzle reel included like a good 2 minutes of Mortal Kombat 2 with Johnny Cage, played by Carl Urban. And let me tell you, it looks so good. A lot better than the first film. It looks so good. But yeah, do for the sake of the time, since this is only part one, let me just read off the list of Warner Brothers, and you let me know what film you're looking forward to the most.
Mhm.
So, like I said, Superman, we have F1, we have One Battle After Another with DiCaprio, we have Final Destination Bloodlines, which is gory as hell, based on that clip we saw. We have Weapons, which is a horror movie made by director Barbarian, The Cat in the Hat, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, The Bride, which is a film we didn't talk about much, and there's a reason for that. Because The Bride is more like a Frankenstein. So, have you seen Joker 2?
Uh, Wait, that's the musical?
Yes, yes. Unfortunately,
Nah.
yes. So
Yeah, no.
well, the Joker 2. The trailer for The Bride showed us it's starring Jesse Buckley, who plays the bride, and you have Christian Bale, who plays the Frankenstein, and their dynamic is just like Joker 2 with Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. It's just like watching Joker 2, only it's Frankenstein and the bride. March 6th for next year. It's definitely creepy, horror themed, and just weird. But
Also, I just noticed something. Look at the director, Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think that might be related to
Gyllenhaal,
yeah, because I
like
heard he has some family members in the industry.
maybe the wife or girlfriend for Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hmm. I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows?
I never even thought of that, but that's very interesting. But the bride does look creepy. But if you surprisingly love Joker 2, the bride is for you to watch too. Only it's different and much better actors, I think.
Okay.
But yes, there was. But yes, also Minecraft is already out, and you have Sinners, the one with Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan. That one comes out next weekend, but I'm going to a screening for it on Monday. And again, I'm not a horror film, but Haley Steinfeld is pushing me to see it. So, what film? Just to summarize, just to sum up Warner Brothers, what film are you looking forward to watching the most besides Superman?
Yeah. Well, the most aside from that would be the new Final Destination
Right.
one, and weirdly enough, if there's a new Tom and Jerry coming out, I'm in the mood, man.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see if they get it right. I love Tom and Jerry. I really do. I remember back in
Okay.
2008 they did an
Childhood.
animated movie, and it was pretty good. When they do it right, it's enjoyable. So who knows?
I have to admit, I'm gonna say Superman, but I'm also saying F1 because
Oh yeah.
seeing the first 10 minutes was cinema. Okay, that movie has to be seen in IMAX or Dolby Cinema. If you see that in a normal theater, you're wasting money. I'm just
Ah,
saying,
dang. But you're right, man. Some of these movies really, it's worthwhile paying the extra bit of money.
for sure. Now let's go on to the newest studio who joined for the first time ever at CinemaCon, Amazon MGM Studios. They actually cooked. I'm not lying to you, they really cooked.
Let's see. Let's see.
Here's the list. Yeah, we get a new behind the scenes look at the live action Masters of the Universe. We got Project Hail Mary, which is the probably the best one we've got. Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling. We got Verity, which is like a drama thriller. We got After the Hunt with Andrew Garfield, Ayo Adebri from The Bear, and Julia Roberts. Mercy, which is a sci-fi thriller. We got Crime 101 with Chris Hemsworth and Barry Keegan, with Monica Barbaro, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry, a stat cast. Is God Is, which is about a wife who got treated very poorly by the husband, played by Sterling K. Brown, and the wife takes her two daughters, played by Kara Young and Mallory Johnson, on a nice little journey to focus on unaliving their father based on the traumatic, you know, relationship between the wife, played by Vivica A. Fox, and the husband, Sterling K. Brown. The two daughters go on a mission to unalive the father, basically. It's another thrilling movie. Slight horror, but mostly thriller. We have Three Bags Full, a sheep detective movie starring Hugh Jackman and Emma Thompson, which is a very weird movie. It's a comedy movie where all these actors are voice acting as sheep. Hugh Jackman is the only human in this movie. Okay, so yes, that's the list for Amazon MGM Studios, and I have to say, my most anticipated film has to be not the Masters of the Universe movie, which is starring the woman from Deadpool, the Karen movie, the I'm sorry, Idris Elba, Jared Leto, Alison Brie. You have the woman who played the wife of Deadpool, and
Oh, I know. Okay, I
yeah,
forgot.
she plays the sorceress. Idris Elba plays Man at Arms. Jared Leto as Skeletor. Alison Brie as Evil Lynn. And you have here Galantine. You have Nicholas Galantine. It's a really hard name to even say. As He-Man, you have Camila Mendez as doesn't even say it here, does it? You have Camila Mendez playing as um. It doesn't even say it here, but I forget who she plays. Damn. Some nah, she played. Man, I
Yeah,
feel
it doesn't say.
it doesn't say here. It doesn't. But it's starring her and Galentine, who plays He-Man. But it's weird because I made a TikTok video explaining who she plays, and I just forgot.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, there's that. But the shocker is Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, and it's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Comes out next year in March, and let me tell you, Ryan Gosling plays a elementary elementary professor, and he is told to go to space due to the sun being infected. He has to do something in space, like a mission, to I don't know, like come up with he has to he basically has to complete a mission in space, and during his time in the space, he meets an alien. Basically, think of it like Interstellar meets ET. It's like this
Mhm.
combined.
Okay.
All right. I mean, screenplay by Drew Goddard. This movie, the trailer for it, they gave us a nice long trailer for this movie. This movie shocked me of how good it looked. Okay, and I cannot wait for this. I really can't. Ryan Gosling, after going from Ken to the Fall Guy to this might be Amazon's best movie of the year. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Project Hail Mary. The trailer is not out yet, but when they showed it over there, I got the chills.
I'm
I,
just worried because it feels like Amazon is spending too much money. Like almost every single project that you've mentioned for Amazon has like some crazy actor,
mm-hmm.
some crazy plot line, and it's not just one crazy actor. It'll be multiple. I'm looking at Anne Hathaway right now. Like, yo, what?
Yeah.
I just hope that
Yep.
they didn't bite too much.
I mean, that movie with Anne Hathaway is called Verity with Josh Hartnett and Dakota Johnson. Josh Hartnett played in the movie with Blake Lively. Blake Lively. Oh my God! It ends with us. It ends with us.
Okay, I was wondering why I remembered her.
Yeah, and Verity. We didn't really get much clarity on the movie. We got just a small teaser trailer that's like a that tells you this is mostly like a drama thriller. But this movie. It comes out on May 15th next year. But it seems like a good Valentine's Day movie. If you'd like, you know, a guy. Um, I think he's like Anne Hathaway plays a diseased woman who gets I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. So she stalks in a way the Dakota Johnson's character. Dakota Johnson is like a writer for novels in this movie, and Josh Hartnett, he basically just I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't even give you a clear idea. I could just read you the small little summary, basically.
Okay.
But for the sake of the time, I'm not yet. You got to wait for the trailer for it. But yeah, Verity from May 15th. After the Hunt, that's another drama, mostly drama. Where
Andrew Garfield.
yep, Andrew Garfield plays a professor also. Where it's like he again, it's hard for me to explain without spoiling anything. But you gotta wait for the trailer for this too. Again, Andrew Garfield, Io Debris from The Bear, and Julie Roberts. This is just another pure drama thriller. Mercy is a movie that I'm really looking forward to. Starring Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. Comes out in January next year. This movie is basically about where they didn't really show us why he was in this moment. The trailer opened up to him sitting on a chair, locked down in this AI courtroom, and Rebecca Ferguson tells him that he has about 1 hour, I think it's 1 hour, to find the person who killed his wife, or else he will be terminated. Because right now there's evidence that he killed his wife in the movie, but he's working in an AI courtroom where he has access to anyone's phones, any camera. He has access to anything to just find any proof that he didn't kill his wife. And if he cannot find proof within that hour, he basically dies. It's definitely a sci-fi thriller, not really drama, not really horror. It's just pure sci-fi drama, and this is probably the second most anticipated film for Amazon. It's called Mercy. It's sci-fi thriller. There you go. And Chris Pratt came on stage. He was in a chair, and he had about 5 minutes to give his thanks to the movie, or else he has to Uber back to his hotel, which is hilarious. So it worked out. And yeah, Mercy comes out January 23rd. Highly recommend this movie and Project Hail Mary. Crime 101, another. It's Crime 101 is starring, like I mentioned before, Barry Keoghan, Chris Hemsworth, and the Barbara woman from Top Gun Maverick, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry. This comes out this year, but the actual month is to be announced. No idea yet. But this is based on the trailer. Chris Hemsworth plays a jewelry thief where he tries to complete one last major heist, and Mark Ruffalo plays the detective who has to try to stop him. But Halle Berry plays a broker, and this movie looks really good. It just reminds me of what do you call that? Name any other crime movie. Basically, this film reminds me
Mm,
of this.
okay, okay.
It's just, it's definitely a thriller, definitely an action movie, and slightly dramatic. But all in all, I'll read a list. You tell me your again how you anticipate the movie. Um, Masters of the Universe doesn't get any much credit from us, but behind the scenes look, the set building, the costume design, you could tell they really do love this movie, love this franchise, and they're really working hard to make this movie the best as possible because the set design looks beautiful. But to summarize, from the Amazon MGM Studios, it was the first time again announcing movies because they said that their goal is to release between 14 and 15 films this year and next year alone.
Mm.
Okay, so they had to announce some films for the first time ever. CinemaCon, they delivered. Like the last announcement was Masters of the Universe, but they announced the first one was Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling from March 20th next year. You have Verity from May 15th next year. You have After the Hunt this year, October 17th. Mercy next year, January 23rd. You have Crime 101 this year, just this year. I'm not sure what month yet. You have Is God Is with the release date to be announced. Three Bags Full, a movie that we didn't really talk about much, but this one's really quickly. It's about basically it's a family friendly like a family friendly whodunit movie that stars Hugh Jackman as a sheep herder who is unfortunately murdered, and it's up to his beloved sheep to go and solve the murder of Hugh Jackman in this movie. And again, the sheep, the actual sheep, voice acted by these actors. Okay, it's definitely a weird movie that I'm looking forward to a lot for next year February. Three Bags Full, a sheep detective movie, and then that's pretty much it. So quickly, what's your highly anticipated movie for Amazon MGM Studios? And most of these movies come out next year, and only a few come out this year. So go ahead.
I think Mercy. Well, first of all, I think almost every single one of them I'd want to check out. For
Mm-hmm.
me, because I like sci-fi stuff. Mercy, that the Chris Pratt movie where they're accusing
Right.
him of
Of
killing
murdering
his
his wife.
wife.
Right.
I like the simple concept of it and it sounds super interesting. I'm all for it. But wow,
And it's
every
yeah.
single
And the best
movie so far.
and we see a trailer for it, you'll see how he's stuck in a chair, and the fact that he gets terminated if he doesn't find proof for who really killed his wife. If he doesn't find proof, and he has access to cameras, anyone's phones, he has AI, he has access to everything to help him within an hour, or I think it's either an hour or 24 hours, one of those. It's a big difference, I know, but he has very limited time to find out who killed his wife, and if he can't find proof, he dies. So it's definitely a thrilling movie for sure. But I have to admit that and Project Hail Mary, that's a movie. When you see a trailer for it, you'll see why it's one of the most favorite and anticipated films for Amazon. Again, Ryan Gosling looks amazing, and the fact that it is a mixture of Interstellar and ET combined together. I never thought we would get a movie like this ever, but all I can say is Amazon's cooking this year and next year. I'm really happy that this is the first time, and they had really good ratings for their panel. So I hope next year they come back again because they did amazing this year.
Man, I'm becoming more and more of an Amazon fan, as time goes by, because I love what they're doing with the TV shows that they're putting on Prime. Now they're putting all these crazy movies.
Mhm.
Amazon might,
They're
might be
com-
the step forward.
yeah, I mean, last year it was all the panels that we're talking about for part one and part two. This year they added Amazon because their goal was to bring more movies from streaming into theaters. Because I guess they really want to help get audience in theaters. And these movies that lately that they've been showing so far, and with 14 to 15 newer films for theaters, that's
That's
showing
crazy.
a very promising future for their company as well, if they're good films. But according to the trailer, oh, I forgot to mention. Oh my god, the last movie announced was The Accountant 2. It comes out
Mm,
this month, April
wow.
25th. That I'm going for the screening on Thursday. So if you want to join me, feel free. For either Monday or Tuesday, I'm seeing The Last Rodeo by Angel Studios. That's just a pure drama film. But I'm going to Sinners on Monday, The Last Rodeo on Tuesday, and The Accountant 2 on Thursday. But The Accountant 2 comes out April 25th of this month, this year. So that was the last film that they actually announced.
Oh, I mean, yeah, be down on Thursday, whichever the time. Just let me know.
Let's do it. But yeah, I
So,
mean, so part one was mostly like we mentioned, Lionsgate, Warner Brothers. Who else we did so far?
Sony.
Sony, Lionsgate, Warner Brothers, and Amazon. All companies who came off firing with amazing surprises and unexpected and expected news. Part two will finish off Paramount, Disney, and whatever else we didn't do. Yeah, Paramount, Disney, host Focus Features as well. Focus Features, Paramount, and Disney, and Universal. Those four for part two. And for those listening, stay tuned. Part two. I'm I'm really not trying, but I got a special guest to commit to hopping on for part two. If you guys don't know his name, look him up on Instagram. Straw Hat Goofy. He's someone who I met 3 years in a row at CinemaCon, and I finally got to speak to him about doing a podcast in person. Well, I spoke to him in person about doing a podcast, and he's down for it. It just matters on time and availability. But stay tuned for part two. Part two will have a much bigger group with Straw Goofy joining us as special guests. So part two will be for sure a lot more fun, guaranteed.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
William, I want to thank you so much for joining part one. I really hope you enjoyed the topics that were announced from each panel at CinemaCon, and stay tuned for part two, hopefully next week, with, like I said, a special guest featuring Shah Goofy, and we'll definitely make sure it's a big one. All right.
Cool, cool, man. It's always a pleasure to be here, bro.
Of course, of
So,
course. You guys can follow me. Apologies, my name is not on the board here, but I'm your host, Entertain Today, aka Jeremy Kaziva. You can follow me on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok mostly, and YouTube as Entertain underscore today. William, any plugs for yourself?
not yet. It's in the works.
Eventually, right?
Exactly, eventually.
All right, cool. But I'm Jeremy. I'm here with William. Guys, stay tuned for part two. Hopefully next week, hopefully very soon, with, like I said, a special guest, Shah Goofy. So make sure you guys follow my accounts so you know when part two will take place for CinemaCon. And yeah, have a great day and see you guys next time.
Take it easy.